Hello and welcome back to the Kennelly Consulting Channel. Partners for positive change for consumers regarding all things insurance and insurance solutions in general. And this year we have moved from conversations around life insurance and everything related to life insurance to living benefits, of which I have an expert here, Ginny O'Leary. Ginny, this is so fantastic that you're continuing this series with me on living benefits, because many people don't realize A, what they are, and B, how they can complement their current insurance portfolio or even be a critical component of their financial plan. So welcome, Ginny. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to share with us today.
Hi, Rona. Always a pleasure. So, living benefits, and I'm going to do a little bit of, if you are just coming onto this right now and thinking, what is living benefits? What's that about? I didn't listen to the previous episode. So, living benefits is disability insurance, critical illness insurance, or long-term care insurance. And really, when you think about those three, think about the different stages in life that you might feel, well, wait a minute. Do I know somebody? Have I come across perhaps a friend or a family member that's had a significant health event where it impacted their lifestyle? I would just say start there. And Rona was so good. She said, how does this complement your overall insurance? And for any of you that are listening to this and thinking, oh my, is this going to be a push for another insurance sale? My answer to you is no. Think about insurance, your total protection package, as a shield. It's a shield that's actually going to pay out at the time you need it the most. Or if you're thinking about life insurance, at the time the people that you love are probably going to need it the most. So when you think about living benefits, all or any of those three kinds of living benefits, think about it as your shield. So disability insurance, we talked a little bit at length about it in the previous episode. It pays out a little differently. It's an income style benefit, and the goal is to protect your income. However, not 100% of your income can be protected by a disability insurance policy in the marketplace today. So that leads me into, where does critical illness fit in? So when you think about the gap, perhaps the gap between what you actually bring home and what is covered by disability insurance, that could be a starting point for you to consider, okay, a way to supplement this gap or bridge this gap actually is with critical illness insurance. So then that helps you factor in, well, what amount should I buy? Because critical illness insurance pays out as a lump sum. So I like to think of it as a health fund, right? So this is your lump sum payment, health fund, so much better than borrowing from family or friends. Who has the time or the capacity to actually come up with a GoFundMe page? Or how many Facebook or social media pages have you seen out there trying to raise funds for somebody that unfortunately now needs financial help to be able to get through their treatment or recover from an illness? So that's critical illness insurance. Think of it as a health fund. Think about it as your retirement savings protection, because really at the end of the day, instead of taking that money out of your hard-earned savings or money that's being invested for your retirement, you have this fund. And interestingly, and Rona, you're going to like this one, because right before we did this recording, one of the things that Rona and I were discussing was the fact that critical illness insurance policies and disability, but really critical illness was the focus of our conversation. They have benefits where you can actually convert that plan into a long-term care plan. So think about that. Living benefits is disability, critical illness, long-term care. Now you have plans out there that have the ability to transition from one type of coverage, maybe during your working years while you're putting that savings away, into now helping you at the time that you're in your care years. And obviously, as a long-term care benefit, that is a monthly or a weekly benefit. So I would say when you think about living benefits, if you have an advisor who maybe it's been a while since they've had this discussion with you, my suggestion would be bring it up, right? As a client, I always feel like we have to know ourselves best. And when you feel the instinct that, you know, I think I have insurance in place, I might have this in place, but actually I'm listening to this and I'm not sure. I think I have critical illness, but I really haven't looked at my policy in a while. So when Rona and I are big advocates of that annual insurance review at least once a year, right?
Mhm.
Because that's how you're going to know whether or not you have living benefits. So that's my general overview around how living benefits can complement your existing insurance protection and why it's a good idea to actually have it in place in regards to your own financial health.
So true, Jenny. Great. You know, I wonder how many people out there know that critical illness insurance was actually designed by a physician.
I love that you're sharing that.
The reason I say that is, and as you were saying that, I'm thinking, okay, well, you and I have been in the industry, we're passionate, we know it, but a consumer might be new to all of this and might be going, well, as you said, maybe trying to find another insurance sale. And maybe it may come across that way at times because people are passionate to make sure that you are prepared for the unexpected. But I remember when it came out in Canada in the year 2000, and Dr. Marius Barnard, whose brother performed the first open heart transplant in South Africa, he saw the way that medicine could put people together after cancer, heart disease, or stroke if there was a medical intervention needed, but it didn't help their finances. This is a product that actually pays people to survive these types of things. And so when a person who is listening today thinks to themselves, oh, I don't need that, I've got life insurance. Why would I need that? Okay, well, you've got car insurance. Does that say you shouldn't have mortgage insurance or fire and theft, or because you have car insurance? So just because you have life insurance, we encourage you to explore by saying this to yourself. If I was to be diagnosed, or someone in my family, with one of the covered conditions, and the top three, Ginny, are for critical illness, cancer,
cancer,
heart
heart
disease,
attack, and stroke.
stroke.
And everybody, cancer, just I hope
People
you
can
don't mind
relate
me.
to that. What
Yeah.
right now today obligations are in place that are not going to go away, but your income's going to stop. So I'd like you to think about that for a minute. And that's something you can do for yourself. That's not about anybody selling you anything. This is what you can do for yourself. And as you said, Ginny, reach out to your advisor and say, I need to have a conversation about how this will affect my overall financial plan. So maybe you could talk about, when it comes to a financial plan, what component pieces should you have, and where does living benefits or income replacement, critical illness, and possibly care planning come in?
Fantastic, Rona. So for this episode, hopefully everybody has gotten a few points where you're actually beginning to think, you know what, there's something I can do about this. At the very minimum is to actually check. And I know Rona said this in one of our very first episodes. If you haven't looked at your insurance policies and dusted them out lately, or
That was the homework for the beginning of the year. So I hope there's somebody out there that did that.
This is a good time.
Yeah.
Because that's actually how you're going to find out if you have any living benefits, or if you're thinking it exists inside your life insurance. Because sometimes Rona and I have come across, I'm sure, cases where clients are thinking, oh, no, I think I have that component in my contract. Well, now's the time to look. Now's the time to look at that. And I think as you're considering taking a look at those policies, also use this time to really engage in, well, you know what? I don't have it, or I'm not understanding this. Talk to your advisor. Talk to your advisor. And if you don't have an advisor right now, feel free to comment or message, and we're happy to help you.
Ginny is the expert here. You know, Ginny, what I would say is that it's important to understand what you have and understand that living benefits are a definition contract. Would you agree, Ginny? So what it
Yes.
means is, what is the definition of disability based on when you bought the policy and what you do for a living?
Mhm.
What are the benefits and riders that are there for you to utilize? What are the definitions under the critical illness? You know, there are some things that are important, Jenny. Maybe you can speak to, if you're diagnosed, the person has to survive at least 30 days. I mean,
Yeah.
do people remember? People don't remember these things.
Yeah, yeah. And here's what I would say. I would say your ability to actually advocate for these plans is really going to be the starting point of your own empowerment and education around definitions, because anything you don't understand is always
Yeah.
that's where you actually have to start asking the questions. And so to Rona's point, so with critical illness insurance policies, there is, she already alluded to it, spoke to it, there is usually a survival period. But in more recent years, that survival period for many illnesses, especially cancer, no longer exists.
Ah.
So insurance companies have actually moved towards taking away the survival period for cancer and other illnesses. Where they have left the survival period is for the heart conditions. So again, you have to meet the definition of the illnesses. However, the survival period for cancer as an industry initiative is no longer there. So the diagnosis, reports are received, and the money can be received. So imagine the peace of mind. Imagine the peace of mind if your doctor and the hospital can get the reports to the insurance company. And where we are today now is funds can be automatically transferred into your bank account. So the days of waiting for your advisor, who perhaps might have, a schedule, might be away during that time, is now gone. If you
You
happen to
know,
be diagnosed with cancer and the funds are available under 30 days.
Jenny, you would agree, and we talked about this last year. Buying an insurance policy, doesn't matter what it is, and forgetting about it is
Oh,
not the way it is.
no.
It's not a buy it and forget about it financial tool, financial solution. And the biggest differentiator for me when I think about it is that making sure that you are partnered with an advisor who provides ongoing monitoring and maintenance of your insurance should be what a client can expect. I'm sure you would agree. And so in closing, Ginny and I want to encourage you to request a copy of your policy, to when you buy a new policy, that you talk to your advisor about the expected servicing standards, that you review the copy of the policy and make sure that there is a commitment made by the advisor to keep you informed of any changes, and to just make sure that you're continuing to be covered as your life changes. So we want to thank you for being here, Jenny. Any final words for next time? Maybe we can dig a little deeper into the critical illness product itself and how it works, or anything that you choose as the expert. And I'll leave the final thoughts to you.
Thank you so much, Rona. So here's what I will say to everybody in the audience right now, because yes, we are gonna transition and progress into critical illness insurance. I would say, think about 2024 or even earlier this year, and think about any GoFundMe page that you contributed to, or a charity or fundraiser that you decided to give your money to because of somebody that mattered to you, or a cause that mattered that was related to illness. And now think about the fact that you have the power to make sure you are protected from ever having to be a recipient of that, because you have a plan in place, because you own a critical illness insurance policy yourself. So those are my
Perfect.
last words.
Thank you, Ginny. Thank you, everybody. Stay inspired, stay safe, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.